Great, thank you, Jerry. Our last speaker of the evening is Ashley Damian, women's shoe designer at Target. Born and raised in St. Paul, Ashley earned a Bachelor of Science degree in clothing design from the U. In 2008, she co-founded the independent clothing label Calpurnia Peach, which focused on hand screen printing fabric. She moved to New York in 2010 to work as a shoe designer for Bass Shoes, and has recently returned to Minnesota to join Target Corporation as a senior shoe designer. I've been told that we need to pay particular attention to the shoes she's wearing this evening, so please welcome to the stage, Ashley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley, and I'm the closer, so I'm a little bit nervous. I feel like the pressure's on, but I'm going to do this in 7 slides, 7 minutes, 7 slides, and I'm really hoping there's a point in there, so I think it's in there. People always ask me the same question, how did I get into shoes? And I think what they expect to hear is that I went to school at one of the 10 universities in the US that offer a shoe design degree, but I didn't. The reality is I didn't study shoe design, as evidence of my very first sketches. And you can also say that I wasn't really born with a natural talent for it, because those are pretty bad. But my journey felt a little bit like this to get to where I am today. My path has been anything but linear. As I'm sure is the case for many of you. We've all probably felt like this. It can feel a little chaotic and scary and uncomfortable, but for me it was pretty exciting because it felt like I was able to follow my curiosity wherever it took me. I guess if I had a pinpoint where the journey started for me, it was when I turned my middle school science project into a fashion show on acid rain, which was pretty creative. And at that moment I knew I wanted to be a designer. And I thought a clothing designer. So I went to the U, I studied printmaking and clothing design, and it was there that I met a classmate. Her name was Lucy, and we started a clothing company called Calpurnia Peach. It was fun and whimsical, playful, and it allowed us the freedom to kind of use our imagination in all ways possible. We experimented with new techniques, we screen printed everything by hand, and we really found our creative voice. And you know what, we were pretty successful. We were two 20-somethings who had a studio, we were running our own business, we rarely slept, and it was a bit of a dream. But there came a point in time where I could see myself sink into kind of this creative rut. And sometimes the idea of unlimited creative freedom can ironically be a little stifling. So I felt like I needed a new playing field and new types of boundaries within design. So after ending Calpurnia Peach, I decided to move to New York and disrupt this creative routine I was in. It was a chance for me to change space and inspire creativity in a new way. And something I learned early on is that people in life can be kind of act as currents, and they can take you on this journey with them, and you just have to find the right people to take you along. And for me, that person was Rachel Antonoff. Our relationship started in college when I read about her in a magazine, and I emailed her, and the next day I was her intern. So this relationship came back to me when I decided to move to New York again. She asked me if I was interested in designing shoes, and I responded with, I don't even know how to draw a shoe, but sounds interesting. So she was doing a collaboration with Bass Shoes. They needed a designer, and after interviewing me, they hired me. Bass is really where I learned everything about shoe design. It was where I met my mentor, Anita, and she was the mentor, like a mentor in the truest sense. She was an open book of information. She taught me everything she knew, and I can honestly say I learned something new every day from her. After a couple years into the job, I asked my director, you know, why did you hire me? You definitely interviewed people from FIT and Pratt that had shoe design degrees. You know, why me? And I feel like her response was pretty perfect and has stuck with me. She said, "I could see you wanted to learn, and I really thought I could teach you something." And that's really kind of what I've lived by. After a couple years in New York, the city what kind of drained my creativity. It wasn't the job, it was more the city. And I was ready to come back to Minnesota to experience some new things. I wanted to work at a bigger scale. I wanted to be a mother, which I'm about to find out pretty soon. And now I work at Target. And I find myself challenged in a whole new set of ways. Understanding bigger business objectives, designing at a mass scale, and really getting to know retail from the inside out. You know, having a creative mind is really something special. It allows you endless freedom to go wherever your curiosity takes you. And we aren't all on the same path. Obviously, my path won't work for everybody, but this is how I got to this point. I'm 30 years old. I'm in the middle of my story, and I don't know what's next for me, but I promised myself 3 things that I would be aware of in the next coming years. I vowed myself to be curious, because I feel like the second you stop learning, you can feel a little stale. The second thing is to be, open to the unknown. My path hasn't been linear, and I want to stay open to wherever it may go. And finally, to follow the winding road, wherever it takes me. So that's the end.
Great. So I think we should give one more round of applause for all of our speakers. You guys did a great job. With that, we will conclude our evening. I'd like to take one more opportunity to thank you for attending and to thank our sponsors for helping make this event possible. We'll reiterate who they are: Gardner Builders, Hayworth, Made for Retail, Wald, and the Design Student and Alumni Board. I think there's a few more. Studio Hive. They've given me the acronyms, but they didn't give me the names. For all of you that contributed, thank you for contributing. What follows next is a reception outside. There are appetizers on the house, and there is a cash bar. All of our speakers will be there to mingle, to answer your questions, for you to meet them and hear more about their experiences. So with that, thank you for coming. Have a great night.